Hi, I'm Perry Black right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV, and I want you to stay tuned for this show as we have a very special guest, David Dunn. He owns a fish farm. Now, I grew up on a farm, but we didn't grow any fish, so this show ought to be very interesting, and David is also a personal friend and a big supporter of the ranch, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back with David Dunn. When I started the ministry that's responsible for Second Chance Youth Ranch, January 1st, 1988, I put on my daytimer on every page of my monthly daytimer, no retreat, no remorse, no regrets. I don't believe in looking backwards. I only believe in looking up and looking forward. I'm Perry Black, pastor of Family Church, founder of Second Chance Youth Ranch. Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. On this program, we're going to be talking to you about how you can partner with us and see lives change 24/7, 365, except in 2020, it's 366 because it's a leap year. And we're leaping for joy in the things of God. Our special guest in this show is David Dunn. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. Now, David is a good friend, and I've known David for how long now? Do you have a better idea than I do?
I think 7 years.
7 years. And how do you know that I've known you 7 years? Because that's a Bible number. That's the number of completion or perfection.
We came to the church in 2013. That's when we first moved into the area.
And where did you move from?
Sherwood.
Sherwood.
We were living in Sherwood. Just before that, we're actually from Oklahoma.
Now, Robin Hood is from Sherwood, from what I understand. Didn't he live in the forest?
I lived very close to it. I lived about a mile from Sherwood Forest.
And so y'all moved from Oklahoma, and that's the Sooner State. And every time I've ever been there, the sooner I can leave there, the better. And but we're Arkansas. You know, it's the natural state. It's only natural. The first chance you get, the first opportunity in this land of opportunity, you go back to the Sooner State.
That's right.
You're a big Sooner fan.
Yes.
And Sooners were pretty good this year.
We were for a minute, right up until the end, right up until when it counted.
Tell me why y'all moved to Sherwood from Oklahoma and how you made your way to Family Church in Bryant, which is about 30 minutes from Sherwood, Arkansas.
Well, we have a business in the eastern part of the state, and we had a business in Oklahoma. And we were kind of looking for a midway point to where this business over here needed a lot of attention.
What kind of business is that?
Over here, we raise largemouth bass for the Asian food markets.
Awesome. So, and this business over here?
We did pond and lake stocking all through the southern United States, and then we also had a lake management business where we managed for everything from fish populations to aesthetics. We did decorative fountains and aeration systems, absolutely, decorative fountains.
And just the other day, I said, David, can you help me get a fountain in our transitional living program house in Bryant that's a part of Second Chance Youth Ranch, what we call our Destiny Homes now. And so isn't that something I didn't know you did? I just knew you knew about water, and I know you know about fish.
Yeah. We've since sold that business, but yeah, I still have access to all of that.
Still have the knowledge.
Yep, still have the knowledge. And
the key to leadership is surround yourself with people who know things you don't know.
Exactly.
And so I'm surrounded by a lot of people that know stuff I don't know.
Yeah, and that's, we've done that. We did that for a lot of years. The decorative fountains was a big thing for us. We were actually the third largest retailer in the United States.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I love this show. They've heard me say this. I learned so much about people that I know about what I don't know. And that's what Ronald Reagan said. He said so much about our liberal friends. They know so much that's just not so. Exactly. I have to surround myself with people that know what I don't. And man, that's so important in leadership. But you guys are very involved in the fish business, in that bass business, and you sell those bass where, nationwide or worldwide?
We sell them all over the United States and Canada. So anywhere really, it's more specifically where there's a high density of Chinese. And so places, Houston.
Is that considered a delicate?
Yeah, it is. It's if you're going to have dignitaries in town, that's what you want to serve, are largemouth bass. Graduations, New Year, weddings, any sorts of celebrations, that is going to be one of the final courses. A lot of those meals are eaten in courses, 5, 6, 7.
So do you sell to restaurants and catering businesses? Or
Well,
what?
a lot of the fish go into restaurants, and a lot of them go into the marketplace. And whether it be in a marketplace or in a restaurant, they're stored in aquariums, so they're kept live.
Oh, kind of like the lobster down at the lobster.
Exactly, same thing. And so
restaurant.
you go into the restaurant. Once you order the fish,
They prepare it.
yeah, then they will prepare it.
That is so cool. So you guys made your way here from Oklahoma to Sherwood. 30 minutes away is the church. How did y'all find Family Church and then our connection to Arkansas Christian Academy and Second Chance Youth Ranch? How did that migration take place?
Well, once we realized that we had to move to this area, the first thing we had to do was find a good school for the kids. I was kind of in a position to where I couldn't be here to advocate, for my children, which is something I think you really have to do if you're in a public school setting.
Yeah.
And so I had to find a school that we could trust, and that wasn't easy to do.
Did you search it on the web?
Yeah, I searched it on the web, and we went.
87% of people find their churches now, not in a phone book, not driving by. They find it on the internet, and that's what you did.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, but what we were searching for was a school.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was tied in with the church, was a bonus.
Yeah.
And so once we came and we visited this church, when my kids visited school. Once my kids walked out of the school, we're in the parking lot and we're walking to our vehicle, and I asked them what they thought, and they said, "Everybody's so happy." And
But the real story, let's clarify that, because the real story from what I remember was walking into school, they had one attitude. Walking out, that attitude
absolutely.
changed.
They weren't happy. I pulled them out of school to come look at this school, and they weren't happy about that, but I wanted them to tour the school while it was in session. And so, they weren't happy at all. And we went in, and we spent a little bit of time, and we walked around and met some different people. And when we came out, they were so excited. And they said, just everybody's smiling, and everybody's happy. And it kind of hit me right then, what a terrible place they've been.
Yeah.
And,
Where that was actually overtly noticeable. We're going to leave you hanging right there, David, because I want folks just to think, because they're probably wondering, I'm watching Second Chance Youth Ranch, yet you haven't really taught much about that yet. But see, this whole connection, this whole ministry is about children and about connecting to families and connecting families to their children and their children to their families. So we're going to take a break for just a moment. We'll be right back and find out how David and his family then got involved from the church to the school, to Second Chance Ranch, and we want to see how God can get you connected in making a difference in lives every day through Second Chance Youth Ranch. God bless.
Terry Tripp's Empower Minute.
What if I announced to everyone watching, by this time next year, you can be millionaires? The majority would think, I just don't believe that. Well, if that's how you think, it won't work for you. Of course, I use finances because that's something we can all relate to, but this works on any level of life. Every promise in God's Word is designed for believers. The first step to receiving is believing, be it peace, healing, joy, provision. You must have a revelation knowledge that this is mine. As you do, it's only a matter of time. If you can believe it, you can receive it. Christian television empowers you to believe God's Word. Take a moment, support this station financially, and help others believe and receive.
Hi, I'm Perry Black, and our special guest is David Dunn. Welcome, David.
Thank you.
Now, David is a senior here at Arkansas Christian Academy, and you've been here how long?
6 years now.
6 years. You're getting ready to graduate, got some scholarships,
Yes,
I
sir.
know. And where have you decided to go to college?
Southern Arkansas University down in Magnolia.
In Magnolia, Arkansas. What a great part of our state. Here at ACA, you played basketball and football
Yes,
for
6
6 years?
Yes, sir.
And y'all just finished your basketball season. What are you going to be? Do you know what you're going to be when you graduate college? Has you got a plan yet?
I'm kind of teetering, but what I'll study is business management, and then I'll probably get a minor in health sciences. So, I mean, the business management aspect is if I want to take over the business or if I want to start my own, and then the health sciences, it'll really help me with, like, if I want to become a coach as well.
Do you think it was a wise investment for your parents to put you in ACA and your sister here at ACA?
Yes, sir, 100%.
What would you say to anybody that's watching?
It's better than a lot of the options out there. Yeah. You know, if you're thinking about a place where you can send your kid that's going to be safe, Christian-based, you know, foundations, this is going to be the right school.
So you think ACA has provided an additional, do you think ACA has provided some extra spiritual foundation for you and your family?
Yes, sir, absolutely. We go to the church here as well, and you know, and we're really have our roots dug in here. And since we're coming here 6 years ago, it's unexplainable how good it is.
Kind of hard to imagine where you would be or what you'd be up to doing.
Yes, sir.
Just if you were anywhere than here.
Correct.
Would you consider maybe making an investment in your children's future and check out ACA? God bless. Welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Our special guest on this program is David Dunn. He's a friend, been a friend now for 7 years, as we talked about in the first segment. And David has a business where you raise what kind of bass?
Largemouth bass.
And then those bass are marketed all over America to restaurants, catering organizations, and formerly you had one of the larger fountain businesses?
Yes. Yeah, we did fountains, would go maybe a foot in the air all the way up to 100 feet in the air.
I like the sound of that.
So,
man, that's exciting. And so in our last segment, we kind of left our viewers talking about how your children, y'all had moved here from Oklahoma, made your way to Sherwood, Arkansas. On the internet, you were looking for a fully accredited Christian school. You found Arkansas Christian Academy, which we founded the same year that we founded Second Chance Youth Ranch. And you made your way here. Your children were not excited about visiting this school. Everything was new. They're no longer in Oklahoma. They're in Sherwood. Now they're in Bryant. But when they walked out of the school, you said that their attitudes had changed. So let's pick it up right there. What happened?
Yeah, they didn't have a good attitude about switching schools, and that was evident even when we were going in. After we come out, I kind of want to see how they feel about it now. You know, and they were excited. They were absolutely excited, and just the way everybody reacted to them, and the smiles, and people were happy, and this is what really excited them.
And your son is graduating this year.
Graduating this year, yes.
So he was 10 when y'all came?
10 or 11, yes.
And your daughter, Chloe?
She's in the 9th grade this year.
And so she would have been...
I think she was in 3rd grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Second or third anyway. And she plays basketball.
Basketball and volleyball.
And he plays basketball, football?
Basketball and football, yes.
And you had mentioned now, and we're kind of getting our cart and our horses in the wrong order, but we'll come back to all this. He's been accepted in what college?
Southern Arkansas University.
Down in?
Magnolia.
Magnolia, down in South Arkansas, a great area down there. You know, Paul Trokel, who was our missionary that we've had in just recently from Tanzania, he pastored in Magnolia, Arkansas for a long time. Billy Joe Daugherty, who pastored, and his son Paul pastors in Tulsa, that's his hometown as well. So that's a great area down there.
Yeah, we're really excited for him. I think he's going to be in a good area, and he's still close enough to home that he gets to, you know, he can come home on the weekend if he wants to. And
I remember the first time I consciously remember meeting you, your wife, and your 2 children. We had an athletic meeting about athletics because we were going to introduce football, 8-man football, to our school. That's been a long time ago. And I remember thinking, I wonder if they'll come back after that meeting. Because I said, this is a Christian school, but we are going to play to win. Just because we're Christians don't mean it's okay to lose. You know, they say, if winning's not important, then why do we keep score? I think that was Vince Lombardi. Winning is important, but creating winners is more important. And I just remember saying, in this generation, everybody gets a trophy. We're going to get a trophy, number one, for sportsmanship. and number 2 for championship. And we've had some pretty good success here at Arkansas Christian Academy. But what I really want to touch on is our real goal is to create winners, young men and women with character and integrity and Christ-likeness. And your son applied at SAU for a leadership, what?
For Leadership College.
Leadership College. Give us a tidbit of what that is and what you found out about your son David.
Well, Leadership College, everybody that's in the Leadership College will basically be in one of 2 different dorms. And they'll just be able to do a lot of things together, work a lot of things together, from a leadership standpoint and from, study groups. A lot of their classes will be paired together, and there's a lot of advantages.
And were there some qualifications that he had?
Well, yeah, we had an application we had to fill out,
yeah.
and it took us a while to get through the application, and they wanted to look at, what have you done from a leadership standpoint? And we went through and we started making a list. And he was calling things off, and we were typing them in, and it kept going on and on. And when the list was finally finished, I stepped back and just looked at the list, and I was absolutely amazed at everything he had been involved in. There was no way that we could have done all of this in a public school.
Yeah.
There's just no way that would happen. But all of this leadership experience that he got from Pastor Bradley, Pastor Lance, a lot of the teachers, from yourself,
coaches,
faculty, absolutely, yeah. Yes, and to see all of it in one place on one page, it was breathtaking.
Yeah, and I think that's fascinating because you're a working family, and we don't really micromanage our kids, and I'm excited to find that you were impressed when you really started looking at what your children are learning here. Not just academics, but leadership. Leadership is influence. Mm-hmm. And for him to sit down now and really begin to journal, my goodness, I had no idea. And that's what Christianity really is all about. It's building your life over the long term. And a lot of times our growth is seemingly slow, but it's the tortoise and the hare. Mm-hmm. A lot of people sprint for Jesus and don't hit the finish line. But it's really, Christianity is a marathon, and it's adding every day something in our lives that brings the desired result. Here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV and Second Chance Youth Ranch, our goal is the same that your son and daughter is experiencing at Arkansas Christian Academy, and that is developing Christ-like character. And over at Second Chance Youth Ranch, our young people come to us hurting, broken, abused, neglected, and many other scenarios. And they immediately encounter what your children did when they came to Arkansas Christian Academy. Everybody's so happy. That's the joy of the Lord. And our young people meet the Lord through people who love Him and love them with that same unconditional love. I hope this is touching your heart and encouraging you that you and your family can be made whole through the love of Jesus Christ. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with David Dunn and find out what's going on now through his life and through his ministry business of bass. We'll be right back.
Simmons Bank decided to support Second Chance Youth Ranch just because of giving back to the community. And Simmons Bank really has a passion for helping kids. And being that the ranch is all about the kids, that was something that Simmons wanted to make sure they were involved with. Myself personally, being around the kids and around the foster parents just drew me in. Spending time with these kids, it's just amazing. I mean, they are such good kids, and my passion is also, just like Pastor Perry's is hurting kids, and you don't want to see kids hurt. And the Second Chance Youth Ranch is a way that we can take some of that pain away, and it's an amazing facility, and that's more or less why I wanted my involvement to be there. One of the things that I remember distinctly was the very first trip I had at the ranch. When I pulled on the property and went through the gates, and people had said that you almost feel the presence of God. It's amazing how that is so true. And people I've taken to the ranch since then, when they cross that gate, immediately they feel the presence of God. I mean, it's just an amazing place. It's out in the middle of nowhere, but there's so much power of God in that place. We don't understand a lot of times what these kids have gone through in the past. and to be able to put them in a loving, caring home with foster parents that is very unique in the form of what the ranch is. To be able to put those kids in that environment and see the change that they go through, it's nothing for me to support it. I want to support it financially. I want to support it by volunteering. I feel great, when we get involved, my wife and I, when we get involved with the ranch, it touches the heart when we do that.
I know God is speaking to you. I know He's inspiring you. This show is designed to inform you about foster care, mentoring, adoption, and to help you get connected with us, because it's a biblical principle. What you make happen for others, God will make happen for you. We also know the biblical truth is he or she that gives to the poor lends to the Lord, and He will repay. So I know of people like David and many of our partners who support Second Chance Youth Ranch, and because it's a biblical truth, God's blessed them and blessed their families. So David, you came to know about Second Chance Youth Ranch because you were new to the Central Arkansas area. Mm-hmm. You were looking probably at that point not so much for a church, you were looking for a school for your children.
Right.
You were impressed that Arkansas Christian Academy was connected to Family Church Bryant, so you began to make the connection to the school, the connection to the church. How then did God complete that circuit and get you connected to the ranch? Can you tell us about that?
Well, we started to meet some of the kids, that were coming to the church, kids coming to the school.
Some of the kids from the Second Chance Youth Ranch.
From Second Chance Youth Ranch, right. And we had always talked about trying to do something or trying to do things, and you find yourself sometimes you're kind of living in a bubble. And most people, you've got a family to take care of, you got a job, you got a home, you got all these things.
You'd love to do some things, but you don't know where to get started. So it's always one of these days.
You don't always know where to get started. You don't know how to get started.
It's kind of the round to it. I'll do it when I get around to it.
Yeah, but even then, you can make excuses, and you can say, well, I don't really know how to do this, or I haven't been involved in anything like this. Anything that we are called to do, we will be so equipped.
Oh man, that's good.
And you don't have to know anything going in. You just have to have it in your heart.
Yeah, and that I don't think people realize this. I didn't know what I was getting myself into or how to do Second Chance Youth Ranch. As soon as we went public in 2000 that we were going to build a ranch for hurting kids, and we went public, I started hearing from all the regulators. Just like raising those fish, there's a regulation for everything. We've talked about that. Mm-hmm. Well, it's the same way with raising children in foster homes. There's a regulation. And I didn't know what I was doing. Boy, did I get on the learning curve. So you started meeting children from Second Chance Youth Ranch through the school and through Family Church in Bryant. And somehow you made the circuit. So finish that you were talking about.
Well, in our everyday lives, we look at things, then we have to get motivated to do this, we have to get motivated to do that. And what we're looking for here isn't motivation, it's inspiration.
Yeah.
So you become inspired that you want to be able to make a difference. You want to be able to stand in the gap for somebody somewhere down the line that you can make a difference. And even if it's just a little bit of a difference, there's really no excuse for not being able to support Second Chance Youth Ranch in some form or fashion.
Yeah, and that's a key because there's only currently about 4,500 children in foster care in the state. And if every church in Arkansas would bring in one foster child, I would say it in this, adopt one foster child. Mm-hmm. Meaning if one family in one church, in every church in the state, would adopt one child, there would be no need for foster care currently in the state of Arkansas. But when you look at 4,500 kids, that's so big. Mm-hmm. But that didn't deter you. You were inspired to get involved and engage.
When you try to look at the whole picture, it deceives you. It deceives you because you say, I can't make a difference. Yeah. All you got to do is make a little bit of difference somewhere. And so if you're on the Facebook page and you see that Maybe they're trying to raise money for a trip and they're going to have a car wash.
Yeah.
Your car doesn't even have to be dirty. Go to the car wash.
Yeah.
You know, go out there and support them in some form or fashion.
And our kids do that. They don't just receive. They do car washes, cake bakes, cookie bakes. Yeah. They did some scrub for the ladies, things that they could do to raise funds for some of their trips that fill the gaps of what our donors don't always give. But our goal is to teach them the work ethic.
Yeah, it teaches them the independence and being able to go out and do something for themselves, accomplish something, which some of them may not have ever done. This could be the very first time.
Yeah, many of them never been on a trip or a vacation.
Yeah.
Some of the nicest homes that many of them have ever lived in are at our ranch. And so what we've endeavored to do is teach them life skills, to teach them ownership, the value of whatever you put your hand to, God will prosper. So we don't mind giving a hand out, but we're more than a hand out. We're a hand up.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about. There are a lot of people watching, and their kids don't live at the ranch, may never live at a ranch, but they're struggling. They're struggling on what to do. How would you encourage our viewers? Is there hope?
Oh, there's always hope. There's always hope. You know, we've went through a lot personally as a family. We've went through things, and my kids have went through things that I wish they never would have went through. You know, but the one thing that we found through it all is faith.
Yeah.
You know, and if you have faith, you have everything.
How important is the local church to you and your family, being involved, your children, in a Christian school? With uniforms and rules and policies, and being engaged at the ranch. We got about a minute.
This is the only way that we could have the success that we've had as a family, is to be a part of this church, to be a part of the school, supporting the ranch, being just involved in this community has made our family whole in a lot of ways. Because you know what, my children, there are people in this community, in the church, in the school that are standing in the gap for my children.
Well, that's a fact.
You know, that are being there when I can't be there.
Yeah.
And it has made the difference, and it's made our family whole.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
What we're challenging you, this show is really about information and inspiration. It's not over. Second Chance Youth Ranch is really created to help kids in a struggle that have been removed from the home. But let's intervene now. A local church, a great Christian school, school choice, and faith in God. And that's the most important thing, trusting the Lord. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to get your prayer requests. We'd also like you to partner with us, just like David and his family have, because every gift is so valuable. Just think about this. If everybody in the state of Arkansas just gave $1, that'd be $3 million. You know what we could do for $3 million? Oh, could we make a difference in the lives of so many young people? So your gift, no matter how small, is so important, because every life is important. And we'd love to pray for you, partner with you, and keep in touch with you every month through our newsletter. We look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you again right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. God bless.